new intake affected by critical allowance cut. Mother and baby killed in crash on NSE. Hello and good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News on 2 with me, Amin Carlos. Now, the Public Service Department, JPA, has revealed that Putrajaya would have spent 1.05 billion ringgit next year if it continues to pay the Critical Services Incentive Payment, or BIPK, to new civil services hires. Well, in a statement, it said Putrajaya is already paying 969.52 million ringgit this year, and this amount would be increased by 8.1% next year.
JPA said if it were to continue, this increase in spending will go up to 1.24 billion ringgit in 2022. Based on this, JPA added that the BIPK allowance should have been abolished in total to those in the relevant 33 schemes. However, the government decided that the BIPK payment would be continued to existing recipients. In this case, it said the government would continue to bear the cost of BIPK payment to existing recipients until the staff members leave their services. The JPA also said that existing and new civil servants will still continue to enjoy 13 other allowances based on their occupational risk, work complexity and skills. It said a house officer with a pay grade of UD 41 still receives a flexi work hour allowance of 600 ringgit a month, while a medical officer still receives on-call allowance. The department insisted again that the BIPK has been abolished as it is no longer relevant to attract potential hires into the 33 schemes.
A mother and her 8-month-old baby were killed in a highway accident involving 5 vehicles at kilometer 160.9 of the North-South Expressway near Bandar Kasia, Pulau Pinang, early this morning. And Seberang Perai Selatan Police Chief Superintendent Shafi Abdul Samad said the police received a distress call about the accident that involved a total of 2 trailers and 4 cars at about 12:30 a.m.
Early investigations found that the driver of one of the trailers had lost control of his vehicle before crashing into 2 cars and the other trailer in front of them. Superintendent Shafi'i said the victims were identified as Siti Khadijah Harun, aged 33, and her baby, Nur Khairin Marisa Nur Azri. He said the bodies have been sent to Hospital Sungai Bakap for post-mortem. According to him, both trailer drivers escaped the accident unharmed, while the remaining victims in the incident suffered minor injuries. Superintendent Shafi'i said the incident also caused a major traffic snarl for about 3 hours, adding that the case is being investigated under Section 41, Subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act, 1987.
The Malaysian Immigration Department clarified that the enforcement agency does not recognize the voluntary squad set up by the party Bumiputra Perkasa Malaysia, known as Putra, to hunt down foreign tourists for overstaying in Malaysia. Its Director General, Dato' Khairul Zaimi Daud, said the task to deal with undocumented migrants lies with the authorities based on existing laws and regulations.
Dato' Khairul added that there are no other provision in the law that recognize other parties apart from the police, immigration department and customs, as prescribed under the Section 51 of the Immigration Act of 1959-63 to hunt down illegal immigrants. He said the public can help the immigration department by supplying accurate information so that further action can be taken. According to Dato' Khairul, the department has consistently and continuously conducted operations to arrest illegal immigrants, including tourists who overstayed in this country. He said between 1st January and 24th December, the department had conducted 17,328 operations, detained 50,715 illegal immigrants and 1,251 employers.
The Department of Environment has been instructed to inspect all factories that produce waste solvents that are pollutants in the Nilai Negeri Sembilan areas. Now, State Exco S. Veripan said the inspections on the factories have to be conducted to prevent the odor pollution in Sungai Semenyih in Selangor from recurring.
Department of Environment also said that there were 46 factory premises in Nilai that had become the focus of the department's search for the premises responsible for causing odor pollution in Sungai Semenyih due to the illegal dumping of toxic waste into the Indah Water Consortium sewer by irresponsible parties. As a result, the Sungai Semenyih water treatment plant was forced to cease operations, and 366 areas with 328,957 consumer accounts in Petaling, Hulu Langat, Kuala Langat and Sepang were affected. Meanwhile, on the pollution of the Sungai Bellihole tributary on Wednesday, Verapan said the result of the analysis of water samples and chemicals taken from the site will be known within 2 weeks. This was the second case of river pollution in Negeri Sembilan this year after the illegal waste dumping in Sungai Anak Air Garam in Mambau.
Well, as Malaysia heads into the final year of Vision 2020, the government is confident the country's economy will achieve a stronger and more sustainable growth of 4.8% next year. Now, this is due to Malaysia's strong macroeconomic fundamentals, such as a highly diversified economic and export structure, supportive labor market, low and stable inflation, a strong and well-capitalized financial sector, and a healthy current account surplus of the balance of payments.
Economics Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Azmin Ali, in voicing his opinion in an online news portal, said this outlook is higher than the estimates by the International Monetary Fund at 4.4% and the World Bank at 4.5%, as the government remains committed to implementing its development priorities. He said for 2020, RM56 billion has been allocated for 5,466 development projects to support the growth momentum and strengthen the country's long-term economic capacity. He said over the next decade, the government will place greater emphasis on restructuring the economy by developing new economic areas to propel the economy forward and create business opportunities and high-paying jobs in line with the objectives of Shared Prosperity Vision 2030.
The Yayasan Kebajikan Negara Malaysia, YKNM, has received contributions worth 234,000 ringgit from two of its strategic partners. The contributions from National Pelita Wanis and Central Sugars Refinery were received by Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, who is also YKNM Board of Trustee Chairman.
Contributions were made to enable YKNM to buy 6 units of dialysis machines that will be used by the Lembah Pantai and Kuala Terengganu YKN dialysis centres. At the moment, there are 6 YKN dialysis centres in several locations in the country, including Lembah Pantai Kuala Lumpur, Kota Baru Kelantan, Kuala Terengganu and Kota Kinabalu Sabah. Meanwhile, YKNM also welcome any cooperation and contribution from members of the public or corporate companies to help their cause.
The Johor State Government has allocated 400,000 ringgit to help 272 students to prepare for the 2020 school sessions. Now, the recipients consist of students from primary and secondary schools in the state that were affected by the flood that hit the state since early December.
Johor Menteri Besar Datuk Dr. Sarudin Jamal said the aid was given to those affected by the flood incident, especially students from lower income families.
Pelajar negeri menerusi beberapa program GLC telah menyediakan set keperluan persekolahan kepada setiap keluarga yang terlibat dalam bencana banjir untuk anak-anak masing-masing.
Speaking at the Back to School program in Batu Pahat, Datuk Dr. Sarudin said each student received a set of school supplies that included school uniform, school bag and stationeries worth 200 ringgit.
The police is urging all school bus operators to send their vehicles for checks to ensure safety at the Computerized Vehicle Inspection Centre, or Puspakom, before 2nd January. Now, Pahang Police Chief Dato' Abdul Jalil Hassan said this is to ensure that their buses are in tip-top condition and safe enough to transport students from their homes to schools and back.
Dato' Abdul Jalil said school bus operators are also encouraged to replace their buses with new ones. This, he said, is to reduce accident rates that involve school students. He added that this could improve the confidence of parents and school managements to employ their services for school activities.
Semua bas-bas sekolah telah diperiksa dan kami telah menasihatkan pada mereka untuk membuat pemeriksaan di Puspakom Negeri Pahang agar mereka diberi sijil oleh pihak Puspakom keadaan-keadaan bas sekolah yang boleh dibenarkan bergerak di lapangan nanti, insyaAllah.
Speaking at the launch of a road safety program with school bus operators in Kuantan, Dato' Abdul Jalil also reminded school bus operators to register with the Road Transport Department and Land Transport Agency, APAD, and use proper channels to obtain licenses and permits. Bus drivers were also reminded to adhere to traffic regulations and drive safely.
Drastic increase in mental health problems and suicide cases show that there are still not enough support for mental health patients in the country to get the help that is needed to recover. A Mental Health Promotion Advisory Council member Tan Sri Leelam Thai said non-governmental organizations that have been helping people with mental illness also lack the funds to provide the necessary support.
Ya, saya rasa aspek ini tentang bilangan ahli psikiatri ataupun psikiatris dan juga clinical psychologist. Dua-dua kepakaran inilah saya rasa itu negara kita amat berkurangan. Yang saya tahu itu misalnya ini hari inilah bilangan psikiatris yang itu kita ada di Malaysia adalah itu lebih kurang dalam angka 400 itu orang. Dan saya rasa kalau 400 orang ini sebahagian ialah mereka yang misalnya berkhidmat di sektor itu swasta, di hospital itu swasta, dan bukan 400 ini semua dengan pihak itu kerajaan ataupun hospital itu awam.
Mental Illness Awareness and Support Association, MIASA President Anita Abu Bakar said funding is an important aspect for an NGO to function.
Kami sentiasa memerlukan bantuan, jadi kami sangat mengalu-alukan sebenarnya sesiapa sahaja yang nak membantu MIASA menjadi sukarelawan boleh, dan bukan saja MIASA, sebenarnya kita ada Befrienders, kita ada Malaysian Mental Health Association, kita ada Minda Kami, Relate Malaysia, banyak sebenarnya badan-badan NGO kesihatan mental dalam komuniti.
But first, the local sports scene. Now, former Johor Darul Taksim 2 or JDT2 winger D. Sarvendran will be playing for Terengganu Football Club or TFC next season. And it was announced by the Terengganu Football Association or PBSNT through the club's official Facebook page, Terengganu Football Club, after the contract signing ceremony.
According to the Facebook posting, the Klang-born Sarvendran, who was the former national Harimau Muda squad player from 2010 to 2014, had previously played for Pahang in the 2015-2016 season before joining JDT2 in 2017. PBSNT said Sarvendran's presence would further strengthen the Turtle squad in the Malaysian League M-League competition in the 2020 season. Meanwhile, TFC head coach Nafuzi Zain said the 27-year-old player's service was done by the team to strengthen, as well as provide more player options on the wing. He said PBSNT decided to have Sarvendran's service after 2 weeks of evaluation during his trial training with TFC. Nafuzi, as quoted in the Facebook posting, said he hoped Sarvendran would be able to showcase his remarkable performance, just like when he played for Harimau Muda, Pahang and JDT2.
Negeri Sembilan Football Association, NSFA, is targeting to become the top 2 teams of 2020 Premier League to return to the Super League in 2021. Now, NSFA Honorary Secretary Salwant Singh believed the lineup of coaches and players of the Deers is capable of realizing the target after making several major changes in the squad for the 2020 Malaysian League competition.
The Deers, under former Negeri Sembilan President Cup squad coach Sazali Saidon, were reported to have signed up 7 new players, including 2 former national players, Nur Hafiz Zamani Misbah and Muhammad Shahrum Kalam. The team is further strengthened by 5 new faces, namely former Selangor United striker Nazrul Kamaruzaman, former Penang defender Cik Safwan Hazman, former UKM FC player Muhammad Arif Amiruddin, former UITM FC defender Ahmad Azriddin Rosli, and former under-23 national player Noshami Izwan Amin. Negeri Sembilan, who made their last Super League appearance in 2018, were placed 6th out of 11 teams in the Premier League this season, with 29 points from 20 games.
And with that, we conclude this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story, only new intake affected by critical allowance cut. Well, do join us again at 7 p.m. for more updates on the latest happenings here in our beautiful Malaysia and also around the world. I'm Amin Carlos. Do stay tuned to TV2 and compliments of the season.